All right, so every time I have my students make any sort of graph, especially if it's their first time, I walk them through it with the screencast step by step. And then I embed that instructions as a link into their assignment when I push it out through Schoology. So I'm going to be walking my students through how to create a simple scatter plot graph based off of some X and Y data, some independent and dependent variables. So you want to start with Google and go to your Google Drive. There's a couple ways you can do that. You can just type drive.google.com. You can hit the little waffle over here. And the chart that we're making, you don't make it in Google Charts. You actually start with the data table. You're going to start is with the spreadsheet. So you're going to go new Google Sheet. And I'm actually going to create a basic template that I'm going to push out to my students. So this spreadsheet, velocity graph, lab, is going to actually contain some information that's going to be pre-filled in for the students, especially if they're first time. Okay, so the first column is always going to be the independent variable, or it's not always, but it can be, for the most part. And we're going to be looking at time. And it's better to just put the units already in the data table because it's going to carry over when we create the chart. We're going to go seconds. And so the second column is going to be the dependent variable, and that's going to be distance. If you double click on the lines of the columns, it will automatically widen to the length of the largest texts in that cell. So that first row is automatically going to be detected as the header. And so we're going to start putting in our data. So since time is independent variable, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to go by log by 1 second. I don't need to go, let's say I want 10 seconds worth of data, just highlight these 3 and see that little square in the bottom right hand corner, just pull it all the way down. It's going to automatically fill, it's going to find that pattern. And so I'm going to be making up data when I'm creating this tutorial. I'm going to go 5. So that's the distance. All right, so one thing that you can do is that in the bottom right-hand corner, there's this button called, where is it? Right there. Okay, that's called Explore. And if you click that, it actually looks at your data, and it says, hey, I have some suggestions. These are the top 3 graphs that I think you should use based off of what I see in your data table. You can use a scatter plot or a line graph. Okay, I'm going to use a scatter plot and then show you how to add a trend line. And so if you want that, you can look at it a little further by zooming in and be like, yeah, I want that. And then if you like that, you just insert chart. And then they have it. It's in there. If you click on the graph now, if you want to edit it, these 3 buttons right there, you can then edit chart. And then all the settings are going to come up. So let's take a look. Chart style, I can change the background color here if I wanted to. That's hideous. For the most part, these are just a formatting. If you want to change the font, make it bigger. Really what matters is the chart title and chart axis. By default, it's automatically selected for the chart title. It gave you a chart title automatically by just putting the letters versus between whatever you titled your independent variable and your dependent variable. So really, you're just comparing the two. So it's the distance versus time. Okay, and so it kind of already gave you a title. If you want to, I actually want a white background. So I'm going to customize it, go to chart style, background, I want white, there you go. And so we're going to go to the chart title. Let's say you wanted to change that, right? And say, time, impact of time on distance. This is where you would change it. So the effect of time on distance in meters second, right? Okay, and you see that it updates it right there. If I want to change my horizontal, right, or my x-axis, I would have to toggle between, and then you can see right there. So if I forgot to put my units, I can change that there. If I want to change that SC to seconds, and you can see it automatically updates. Okay, so my chart, you need your title, your x-axis, y-axis, make sure those are properly labeled. Your units are there, okay, shows up. Your series is your data, okay, and so because it's a scatter plot, all it has are data plots. There's no lines. Okay, if I wanted to add specific, like standard error bars, I could. It automatically does the data for you. If I wanted to add data labels, it'll put the data labels right above. You can position them differently if you wanted to. Put them right in the middle, to the right, okay? You can change, if you leave auto is probably the best way to do it. Okay, trend line, important, okay? Trend line, okay, especially for this graph, is going to give you this slope, since we're doing a velocity graph. The slope of this line is going to give you your velocity. And so your average velocity over all 10 seconds. And so here's something that is kind of a little trick. If you label the trend line using the equation, you'll notice that this is the trend line, right? This little light blue, I'm assuming it's colorblind. You'll see that this is in the format, right, of mx plus b. And so that first 5.76, that's your slope. And so the average velocity over the course of 10 seconds is going to be 5.76 meters per second. And so the way that you can, or you can just, do the math. Let's change it to where it's 5 miles every time. So it goes from 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. And you can see that it's perfect 5 miles per hour. And so that's the slope of the line right there. Now, if it stayed 30, 30, 30, okay, and see how it's flat right there? And there's no slope. Let me get rid of the trend line. If you have zero slope, that means there's no velocity. That means you're not moving. Now, let's say I want to change this to a line graph. I don't see my data points. I want to see my data points. You would go to Customize. You'd go to your series, because that's all your data. And the point size right now is none, meaning that the data points are in the shape of a circle, but the size of them are none. So you'd have to actually give them a size, right? And you can actually see the data points. You can label the data points. And that way you actually have the scatter plot or the plots of the data and the line. And so you can analyze the slope of the line in different parts of the graph between different times. If you want to add more grid lines to make it a little bit easier, the major grid lines are these main lines every 10. If you want to add some minor grid lines, you can. And the one is how many lines do I want to add between each major grid line. If I want to do 1, then I know, well, there's one line between 0 and 10, so that's going to be 5. It's going to make it easier to analyze, especially if you have data points that line in between the major grid lines, if you want to be able to estimate them. If I want this chart, you can either download this chart as a PNG, a PDF. You can copy this chart, right? And then you can paste it in a Google Doc. If you paste it in a Google Doc, it'll ask you, do you want to paste it still linked to the spreadsheet? Meaning that if you change the data on the spreadsheet, it'll actually change the graph that wherever you embedded it. Okay, so now that I'm done, I'm going to actually record this, and I'm going to have a YouTube link. But I'm going to embed that YouTube link as instructions. But I'm going to delete all this and just leave the template for the students and this Google Doc. One of the things that I like to do is I like to literally embed the instructions. So here's, let's say, somebody else's Google graph that they did of instructions. What you'll do is you're going to take the share link, the URL link, right? And this is going to be of your own. And you're going to place it in as many possible places that the students are going to stumble across it. Attach it to the Schoology assignment, embed it in the Google Doc, as many places so that they don't miss it. I like to put right here, instructions, how to make graph. And I highlight the cell, and I go either insert link here or insert link. And I'm just going to copy paste, Control V, apply that. And then this is the template that I want. I may want to put some border lines for the students, make this bold, especially if it's their first time. Okay. And then I know that the name of this is Velocity Lab. All right, so I'm in one of my Schoology classes. I'm going to go and create an assignment. Okay, title it Velocity Lab. And I can type in instructions here. I have the link right here of that same YouTube file. You can't give it to them in enough spaces. Graph instructional tutorial or graph screencast, whatever you want to call it. Step-by-step instructions on how step-by-step video instructions. Okay, you can go to Google Drive assignments, and it usually does the most recent one, but if you can't, you can always search for it right there. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to attach that. And all this does is it's going to give every single solitary student a copy of exactly what you see here with attached to the student's name, and that way all they'll have to do is add it and then click turn it in, and it automatically gets sent in through Schoology. Add the due date whenever you want it due, give it a category, give it some points, hit create, and then I only have one student, created a Google Doc assignment, and so when you go and click on it, it looks a little differently. It opens up. And then you'll see exactly what they see, the attached Google Doc. And you'll see all the students that are working on it and that are in progress that haven't turned it in yet. Okay, I got Dewey Dolphin here. Right? And if they haven't opened it yet, if they haven't clicked on it yet, Dewey, you need to click on it. Then you won't see that document being worked on. So I'm going to say, okay, Dewey, this is what Dewey sees, a student. Dewey has a lot of classes. And there's that Velocity Lab. So he's going to open it up. He's going to see that I have step-by-step video instructions. That's going to be a YouTube video, okay, that I've made. But if he misses it, and he's going to need to click my document, it is now creating that document. And it's going to, whatever you titled it, attached to his name. Make sure that the student's logged into their school Gmail account. That is a huge, huge, huge issue all the time. And there you go. Now, the student also sees this. Now, here is a huge tip. Always have the students hit edit, taking the Google Doc out of Schoology, because you don't want to have a scroll bar within a scroll bar. It's like a window within a window. And it doesn't matter whatever they do here. So let's say this is data. You'll see that it is getting automatically updated in here as well. Okay. Now it is crucial and important that when Dewey is done, okay, with his assignment, crazy graph is this. Okay. When Dewey's done, Dewey has to go back to Schoology and hit submit assignment. Yes, submit. And when that happens, let's go back to the teacher. We're going to click on the assignment. And now when we look at in progress, we can actually see where their work is at that current time. But they haven't submitted it yet. Otherwise, it would be in submissions. And you can see all those that need graded, that need to be graded. And there you have it.